Welcome to the Alchemy of Ascension Season 4, where we are activating awareness, well being, intimacy, and self mastery. I'm your host, Washela Sananda, and it's my pleasure today to introduce you to Beth Osmer. Welcome, Beth.
Hi, Washela. Thanks for having me.
So delighted to have you. Thank you for being here. And just before we jump in, I invite everyone to join us for a short alignment meditation just to get present and really connected. So begin by closing your eyes and tuning into your breath, deepening the breath and bringing your awareness to your heart center. There is a light in your heart. So just dive in and connect with the light of your heart, feeling the warmth and the nurturing and the glow of your heart light. And now tune your awareness far above your head into the sun and the central sun, feeling the warmth of the heart of the central sun and bringing that energy down through the ethers into the top of your head, to the bottom of your spine, and then continue that line of energy down all the way into the center of the earth, connecting to the heart of the Mother Earth, the heart of Gaia, feeling her nurturing energy, and bring that energy up through the layers of the earth as liquid crystal plasma light up into the base of your spine and now into your heart, joining the light from above, the light from below, and the light within. And just breathing into that trinity of energy, expanding the light out around your body, and now feeling into the golden light around you, this beautiful golden light container holding you, protecting you, and having everyone listening be present to receive whatever is in this conversation today that is for your highest good and your highest light activation. And breathing back into the heart, bringing yourself fully present. Go ahead and open your eyes. And thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining me in that. I feel more present, and hopefully everyone else does too. And so now it's my pleasure to just introduce Beth and her work and share a little bit about what she's been up to in the world. Beth Osmer is a spiritual empowerment guide who has helped thousands of individuals across the planet to let go of their past and live a more potent and power filled life. Beth has a degree in psychology and has studied depth hypnosis, shamanism, Buddhism, energy work, parts integration, regression therapy, and meditation. Beth lives in San Francisco and works with groups and individuals, both online and in person. So, you have been doing a lot with your life, and you've really gone deeply into the world of spirituality and psychology and all of these really interesting things, hypnosis, which fascinates me. So, what I'd love to start with is your origin story. And I know you had a turbulent beginning of your life. I'd love for you to share about what happened and lead into your spiritual awakening. How did you take what happened and get where you are today?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I share my story with a lot of people, and the reason I share my story is because I use it as a teaching tool. So I'll be really brief, give you the highlights of my story. So by the time I was 5 years old, I lost both of my parents, one to suicide, and then my mom was locked up in an institution when I was three for bipolar. So I've seen her twice since then. And then, so we were basically orphans, my brother and I. We were tossed around from one distant family's home to another. Each home had its own flavor of abuse. There was a physical abuse, then we went into emotional abuse, then neglect, and then there was some sexual abuse sprinkled throughout there. And it was literally like when I decided to come into this world again, it was like I had this card. It was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for this. I'm going to sign up for extreme loss. I'm going to sign up for all this abuse. And the why doesn't really matter anymore. I used to like really dig around like, why did I choose this? Why did I choose this? Why did I choose this? And I did figure out the why, but now I'm in the what of like, okay, what is it that I'm here to share? What is it that I'm here to shift? Because the story is intense, and that's just a little bit of the highlights. And then I went into like extreme drug and alcohol abuse, because if you go, it's like I got emptied out. I got completely emptied out as a kid. But I remember at 5 years old, I knew that I was doing this not just to suffer. And so when my dad died, I would sit and like pray and ask God, please, please tell me what I'm supposed to be learning from this. Like I would be praying and praying, because I knew that my soul had a mission, and I just didn't know what it was. So I would pray, please, please, please tell me what I'm supposed to be learning from this. And that, I think, really carried me forward. I needed to go through the drugs and the alcohol and all of that. And then at 28, I was like deep into alcoholism. I was drinking every day, during the day, all day long. And then I just got this, it was not even dramatic. It was just this voice that said, what are you going to do? It was in my head. Like, what are you going to do? Like, it was Saturn return, 28. Are you going to continue this road and have terrible relationships with yourself and other people, have shitty jobs, or are you going to take your power back and stop being a victim? It was like that clear. And I went to rehab, I think the next week. I put myself in a drug and alcohol rehab, and ever since then I've been on this path of healing. And in my I did AA, which was awesome, as like the power of the group. The power of the group really supported me. Like, I did a lot of groups. I did AA, and then my next group was shamanic groups and the depth hypnosis group. But I started working with a shamanic practitioner in my early 30s. I started channeling I started doing like journals of channeling. Like, all my psychic abilities, once I was sober, just ignited. I've always been very intuitive, very psychic. It's the way I managed in the world. If I could read your energy as a kid or as a teenager, then I felt safe. Like, if I knew what was going on, then I could like calculate it and then understand and look beyond people, and I felt safe. But like drugs and alcohol obviously like dulled it. And so I was channeling, so I needed to find someone to help me, and I found a shamanic practitioner. And then from there, I just did not stop. I did like 2 years of very, very deep personal work, while I just cleared and cleared and cleared and cleared and got my power back. And then I started studying it, and I've been working with people ever since. Once I started feeling like I was ready to support other people.
Wow, what a powerful journey and transformation, having been so deeply kind of on the dark side
Mm-hmm.
of your life to choosing this other way of living for yourself. Um, I know you've had a lot of experience in shamanism. Would you share what is shamanism to you, and how do you involve that in your practice?
Thank you. Okay, thanks. And I love that you said to me, because I am not a shaman. I'm very, very clear about that. I'm a shamanic practitioner. So I take the tools of shamanism, some of them. I mean, it's vast study. I mean, you could study it for a lifetimes and still only learn like this much of it. So I take tools from shamanism and apply it to healing. And some of the main tools I use is being able to connect with the spirit world, being able to connect with guides and take the wisdom of that guides. Like you and I were talking right before this started about taking the woo woo and bringing it to real world, like boots on the ground, not hanging out in the clouds. That's why I love shamanism so much, is because it's earth based. Yes, we get like cosmic wisdom, and there's a lot to look at beyond the veil, but it's taking that and bringing it into real life healing. So that's what I love about it. And so I take shamanic tools such as soul retrievals, energy clearings, power retrievals, these very deep, deep practices that I generally don't do myself. I guide people and teach people how to do it for themselves because they have all of the tools. Like the shaman is usually the one doing the healing, right? Working with the spirits, working with the guides to facilitate healing for others. Whereas I will teach them how to find their own guide, and I will walk them through how to do their own regressions, their own soul retrievals, their own power retrievals, so that people begin to feel like they're doing it. And then it's very, very impactful and powerful.
Yeah, I love the empowerment in that. And, that's one of my foundational teachings as well, that the time of the guru is over and it's time to be your own practitioner. And that doesn't mean you don't need guidance on how to be that, but we have that. Every one of us has that connection, has that possibility to connect with our guides, with our team, with our source energy. And that doesn't have to be done through another person.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. I left a teacher after 12 years, my first teacher I talked about, because I started to realize there was a guru. I was the student, she was the teacher, and there was a power dynamic happening that ended up not working after a while. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm my own teacher. I don't need a guru. So I started writing a book a while back all about that, like being your own guru, because absolutely, we are our own teacher, we're our own guru, and learning those, and not giving our power away.
Yes, yes, that's it. Not giving our power away,
Mm.
empowering. I mean, I think the best teachers empower the learner, the student,
Yes.
empower. I mean, and that I think that's where coaching comes into, because coaching is not student, and teacher. Coaching is drawing out the best of the person in front of you and having them be empowered and stepping into their goals and completion energy and all of those things. And it's
Mhm.
almost like coaching is kind of like the accountability partner and the cheerleader rather than the guru energy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and I know that that's something that you do as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So something that I saw you posting about recently that I hope you're open to talking about is archangels, and you were offering some channelings or some teachings around archangels, and I'd love to hear you share about that. And also, would you clarify what is the difference between an archangel and a regular angel?
That is so good. Yes, and it's all new for me because I was so immersed in the shamanic world that right before COVID hit, in October, before COVID hit in March, Archangel Metatron, I never worked with the angels. It's not that I didn't like the angels, I just didn't work with them. But Archangel Metatron came to visit me while I was seeing my friend Christina in Santa Fe in a journey, and he said, you're going to be creating, he was these groups called the spiritual warrior, something big is coming and we need spiritual warriors. And so I just started listening to him, trusting it, and following his guidance. And so recently I did a class on connecting with the archangels, connecting with the angels. So and it's very new for me. Like I was learning along with everybody else. So my understanding of the archangels is that they are the master teachers. This is my very limited understanding, that they are the master teachers of the angelic world. I, I don't know how many there are. The ones I started learning about were about 7 of them. And it was interesting that you brought it up because right when we started working, they just start coming down. Like Archangel Metatron just started coming here through the interview. Ariel came, Raziel came, and once you start connecting with them, they're so, it's so magical. And what I love about the angels, especially like Metatron, because he was once human. This is my understanding, is he was once human, And so he understands the human world very well. He understands the suffering we go through. He understands that we're enslaved on a lot of reasons. Like he understands our plight.
Mm-hmm.
And he is one of those archangels. He is really, really standing for us in a huge way because he knows and he's committed to being in the earth realm to support. And he's very present in my understanding of him through, we were talking about the awakening before and the ascension before. He is, if you call on him for support, he will be there because he is really ushering in those people that are really ready and helping those that want to awaken, because we are in, we're in this big turnover right now.
Yes, absolutely. I want to chime in on, I have a really strong connection to Metatron as well. I live in, well, near Siesta Key. It's Sarasota, Florida. And I was called there by guidance to actually the message I got was help guard the Sarasota Stargate. So when I came, I was walking the beach regularly, multiple times a week in Siesta Key, and I started seeing Metatron's cube. It's a sacred geometry off the coast. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I guess Metatron has a presence here. And then fast forward a couple months later, I was in a spiritual circle at Siesta Key, and one of the leaders and I were talking at the water's edge, and she said, well, Metatron has a portal here, and he draws people in to assist with the spiritual awakening here. I'm like, really? Well, that explains what I've been seeing and experiencing. And I love how we get these cues and these spiritual, like we get led, and then we don't always have all the pieces of the puzzle, but sometimes other people fill them in. And I feel like, even us just having this conversation fills in some gaps for me and maybe for you. And the like, of course Metatron has a presence there and is drawing the people in to have that awakening. And of course, everybody listening has some sort of connection and reason for hearing this right now in this moment. Maybe Metatron has an activation or an infusion for the listeners just through this conversation, because we didn't plan to talk about Metatron.
No, he's obviously very present because when you and I start talking, he's massive too. I love that. See, and what I want to say though is, what is so amazing about what you and I are sharing is that we listened. Like you listened. It was like, go to Florida. Oh, okay, I will. It's like following the intuition, following the guidance, and having the courage to do it. This is where I really would love for people to hear who are listening to this interview, that it's hearing the guidance and then having the courage to follow through and knowing you're going to be taken care of, because right now you're rocking it. Like, you are being taken care of. You followed the guidance and you had the courage to do it. And so it's like not just listening but acting on it too.
Absolutely. I will say, and I have a history of shamanism as well. I practice galactic shamanism, and that is all about communicating with the world of energy, the guides, and the quantum world. Um, and I have a commitment. I made a commitment in my 20s that I will go where I'm called, and that I will do the work, and that I will be spirit led. And that does mean I've moved a lot of times based on that guidance, and it's never led me astray. And what I love that you said about Metatron is that Metatron was once human. I don't know about most, but many of the guides and many of my guidance has never been human. And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes the requests that they make are not,
Like,
you
wait,
know what I mean, are not really human possible requests, or
like,
like
my life as a human. Yeah, exactly.
it's like, but Metatron makes reasonable requests, I feel like, because he gets it, right? And sometimes it's like there needs to be a almost like a bargaining, like, okay, I get that that's what you want me to do, and I'm actually limited by space and time being in a human body. So there's some things that are going to have to happen or in a certain, way in order for me to be
Yeah.
able to do what you're asking. And how can we remedy that? So, I feel like there's always a negotiation possible when you're being asked to do something. So it's not like if you're being asked to fly, well, okay, don't do something unreasonable, but have the negotiation. Well, what do you mean you want me to fly? Well, okay, I could take an airplane, but I don't have wings and I'm not a light being only. I'm physical.
Mhm.
So we get
Totally,
to
yes.
kind of work with those with the guides in a negotiation way. At least that's how I approach it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. And exactly, exactly. And you'll know too. Oh, I can't fly, but what do they really mean? What do you mean by fly? Do you mean soar my gifts? Like you could get
Yeah.
more curious. It could mean, but actually, yeah, it's so interesting you say that because that's why I love working with Metatron so much is because he really understands.
Yeah. And I think it's a really unique thing from a higher perspective, a higher dimensional perspective. Just the concept of being human is like, whoa, you're in the trenches.
We are in the trenches. Yes.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not
Oh.
easy when you're tapped in, especially to that higher way of being, that higher spiritual calling. And I think that's why so many people feel that loneliness or that missing or the longing. Actually, I heard a video that you did about it was about longing versus living in possibility, to step into manifesting what you want in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
Um,
was huge for me to. It was literally so simple, but I was realized I've been in this energy of longing since I lost my dad. There's a big difference and it causes so much pain. And I didn't even realize it was like mini pain, like, oh, I don't, yeah, it was huge. That was huge for me.
Yeah, so shifting from the wanting or desire, even desire. Like desire can be like, ooh, like really juicy and fun, or desire can be longing. And it's like watching that little tweak of like, well, how can I shift from want energy, lack energy to have energy to
Mm-hmm.
manifestation energy, right?
It's right, right. Being in, it's huge, and I'm catching myself still because I just realized it like last month. What I was doing, and it's just like catching myself. It's like, nope,
Mm.
I'm a staying possibility, and this is how I'm going to manifest. Not longing for something else. Longing. We're getting ready to move in 3 months, and I've been longing to move for so long, and so I'm watching myself. It's just I have to reel myself in. It's like, nope, just make it happen.
Yeah, and being that already happened energy, right?
Yeah, it's done. I did a this morning. It was like today, November. I wrote today, November 1st. I am so grateful for the new home I'm in. Like like writing already that it's happened.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
powerful. Like journaling it, writing it down, putting it in paper, and then going
Hmm.
back later and finding it after.
Hmm.
That's a powerful practice.
Yeah, I've been carrying around like if I'm lately if I want to manifest something, I'll write today, in the future, dot dot dot, and then I keep it in my pocket so I can look at it throughout the day and just keep grounding in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I know you call your container spiritual warrior.
Mhm.
Tell me, what is the meaning under that, or what is a spiritual warrior?
So, as I was saying, like what Metatron was like bringing that in last October. So, spiritual warrior for me and what I've been creating, that word you'll hear a lot of people are using that word now because it is the time of the warrior. We are in a time like it's exciting and intense and amazing, and there's a lot happening behind the scenes. And so a warrior, the spiritual warrior, is that person who can begin to live the characteristics of what a spiritual warrior is: courage, responsibility, neutrality, love, compassion, and be able to be being at your optimal, being at your awakened self, so that you can begin to usher in others. Could be others in your family, could be others just going to the grocery store, it could be others at your day job. But begin to usher others in by being a torchbearer in your life, by being a leader in your life, and really beginning to let go of those things that don't serve you.
Mm.
Anything from the past that's holding you back. Because what I see, and I'm sure I'm wondering if you see it too, is that we're going to be entering into a split. We are in a split. Everything's split. It's been split for hundreds and hundreds of years, but there's going to be an even deeper split of like those that are going to stay very connected to tech, AI, very connected to what would someone call the matrix. And then there's going to be those of us that are starting to peel back the layers and return back to the sacred, return back to the land, return back to our brilliance. And one's not better than the other, they're just different. And so the spiritual warrior is really teaching people to usher in their selves, their brilliance, begin to peel back the programming to be of service in a way that's going to support me, you, everyone, their family in this time of great change, because it's not going to slow down anytime soon. Like this, we are in it. When you said the central sun during the activation, it feels to me, and I don't know if you feel it, or I'm sure you do, it just feels closer and closer. Like the central sun is there. It's just shifting in a massive way, this planet.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I love what you said. And I would even take it a step further into like the new earth conversation. That is the dawning of the new earth, and it's not somewhere out there, it's not some big event that's coming, it's
Mm-hmm.
not, it really isn't out here, it's right here in every moment that we have that opportunity to connect with each other and with nature and with the sun, which does give the divine light energy straight, straight to our bodies, straight to our hearts, straight through our eyes. And for me, that connection of central sun, that is source, that is creator energy that we get to bask in every day. And absolutely my connection to the divine. So yeah, thank you for saying that. Do you talk about new earth and that conversation? I'd love to get your perspective on, is that what you're really alluding to in being a spiritual warrior to create the new energy for the new earth ascension, really?
I don't really put it in the new earth like that, but I we do talk about the way, exactly what you said, things are shifting and changing, and there is a new reality happening.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is also up to you. Like you said, it's an inside job. But everyone who is attracted to the spiritual warrior programs or working with me, they almost all of them feel the shift and know that there is something coming and it's new, and that we're in the breakdown. Like I talk about, we are in the breakdown right now to get to whatever the awakening, the new earth is. And I'm not sure, we don't know the end game, we don't know when, but like we are, it's like getting people prepared to start really connecting back in with who they truly are and realizing the programming they're in. And I've been talking, I did a show recently called Leadership to Birth a New Reality. Like it's the same thing, the same concept. Like, who are you going to be a leader in this ever changing new earth?
Yes. Well, it's the same. I mean, your terminology might be different, but it really is the same
It's the same.
idea, the same concept. I know my listeners like the new earth conversation, and I find it fascinating. There are a lot of people coming at it from different perspectives, but it's the same thing, whatever, by any name, we're going to a new place.
Yeah.
We're evolving. We're stepping into our mastery, our self mastery, and as a planet, her self mastery. And so those of us that are on that journey, that's the same as the new Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you offered you want to offer us a meditation for empowerment. Would you be willing to do that with us now?
Yep, yep. It'll be super short, but one thing I learned, I sat with people one on one, and I still do for 18 years, and before I did groups. And what I noticed and what I learned was that everything came down to personal power. Like all the places, like any wounding, any trauma, any programming, any of it came down to leaks in people's personal power. And so this is all about getting this very short meditation, but powerful, is calling your power back.
Great.
We leave it behind. We don't even know it sometimes, but we're leaving it behind. So okay, so yes, I will.
I'm going to mute myself so I have no
Okay,
background noise.
all right. So just going ahead. And closing your eyes. And if you participated in the activation that Washella did at the very beginning, just going ahead, your body remembers that, your spirit remembers that. It was really, really beautiful. So just bringing yourself back, connecting back into the earth, dropping that cord that was already there when we started, slowing down your breath, bringing that cord and that connection back up through our sun, the central sun, to your soul star, just really aligning. And then relaxing and giving yourself permission and your conscious mind permission to rest in the next few minutes. Opening up your mind's eye, that place where you dream, that place where you draw, dance, create, laugh, that place where the ego does not live. Inviting that part of you to open and allowing yourself to relax. And then you're just going to take a moment out of curiosity, not judgment, no self beat up, just pure curiosity in a state of observation. Personal power is that part of it's like your confidence, it's your essence, it's who you are. We lose power in so many ways through worry, stress, depression, anxiety, past trauma or wounding, being a victim, anger, rage, more rage. I mean, anger can be justified. Frustration, resentment, wanting to be right about things. There's a lot of ways we can lose power. We can give power away to our husbands, our wives, our partners. We've all been in relationships where we see where our dynamic is off. Sometimes you're holding power more than the other person, but it is opposed to being in true partnership. And we learn that way. We learn that way. But there's a cost to giving your power away. And as children, sometimes we have people taking our power and we don't know what to do about that. Teachers, parents, churches, the media. But as adults, we get to take our power back. This is about owning your power. And when you begin to own your power and you own your light, you'll have more energy, more peace, more joy. So I'm going to invite you to put your hand on your third chakra, which is above your belly button. This is your power center. And we're going to do a simple mantra. We're going to do simple calling of your power back. You can use this if it aligns with you throughout your day. You can use this if you have an interaction with someone and you just feel off after. Or maybe you go into a public place and your energy feels a little off or drained. You are welcome to use this throughout the day. But first we're going to bring our aura up nice and strong. The energy field around you. Nice and strong with a beautiful color of high resonance around, like a gold or purple, yellow. So bringing your aura up, nice and strong. And I'll say it once and you can repeat it out loud or in your mind. And just trust that when we're calling this back, it's going to go to the right chakra that it came from, the right part of your body, and you're going to trust it. I call all power and energy that I have given away or left behind back to me now. And we're going to do it 3 times. I call all power and energy that I have given away or left behind back to me now. I call all power and energy that I have given away or left behind back to me now. And as adults, we own and we are responsible for our energy and our power. We are not victims. We are bringing it back. We don't say they take it. No one can take your power as an adult. Sometimes as a kid it happens, but unless you allow it. There on some level you're giving permission. So when you're calling back, you're responsible, owning. And we'll do it one more time, but you can get really specific in whatever way is specific to you. You can call all power and energy back from your childhood. Maybe you're calling your power back from a wound or an addiction or worry. I am a recovering worry addict. I still worry, and I'm always calling my power back from the pattern and energy of worry. You could call your energy and power back from a person or a parent if they have that still, or you've still allowed someone else to hold it. So get very specific. So I'm going to use mine as worry, and you can get specific. I call all power and energy back from the energy of worry back to me now. I call all power and energy back from the pattern of worry back to me now. Call all power and energy from the pattern of worry back to me now. And just take a deep breath. You own your power and your light and your brilliance. You get to choose where your power goes. And you're welcome to use this mantra. It helps throughout the day. As there even the intention reminder that no one or nothing from your past gets to own your power. And you'll feel like a superhero just by having and owning your own precious power. So taking another deep breath in through your nose and then releasing out through your mouth. And when you're ready, gently opening up your eyes.
was beautiful. Thank you.
Welcome.
I really felt, I love that you said pattern, the pattern of fill in the blank, but the pattern of worry. Um, it's something I'm really growing my understanding of, that everything has a pattern to it, and not just a like a sequence of events, but a actual geometric pattern. Every
Mm-hmm.
energy, whether it's positive, negative, neutral, everything has a pattern. Our ways of being are patterns,
Mm-hmm.
geometrically. And I was really visually seeing the pattern of, like, where where have I not claimed my power? And
Mm-hmm.
then for me, part of what I do psychically is put the golden light, the patterns or the geometric formations that have those, that hold those energies that are destructive, to being, have to me cloudiness, like gray, like smog. They're smoggy, and we
Mm-hmm.
can pour golden light, infuse golden light into those patterns to clear them and bring them into coherence and alignment. So I was
Mm-hmm.
really seeing like another piece of that as you were speaking. I'm like, ooh, this is, yeah, that's how it works. I love it. That was
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna borrow that because when you said the pattern of worry, I didn't see smoke, but it's like jagged,
yeah,
like spiky.
spiky.
That's how it looks to me, like spiky, because that's what it feels. It's like,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it's interesting.
Well, and as you're saying that, the Sri Yantra symbol, how it's all the triangles
Oh, I
together,
don't
like
know that symbol.
triangles. You'll have to look up. I don't. I should have one, but I don't. In my normal office, I do. I have Sri Yantras like all over, and they're. It's what the Tibetan monks use. They make them in the sand, and they make art out of them. The Sri Yantra is very powerful, and it's all of these triangles interlaid together. But then there's a circle around it, containing it. So it's almost like the pattern, the jagged pattern is the triangles with no container. They're like running amok in a way. They're pointy. But then you put the circle around it, and it's a container now that like makes the energy aligned and accessible.
Oh, I love that. Is that the symbol on your marketing?
I do have I think I do. Yes, I do have Sri Yantra, like the layers of triangles. For me that's Andromedan. Andromedans speak in geometries. It's a
Mm-hmm.
language that I'm learning. Thank you for all of the amazing energy and meditation and information that you shared with us today. And I will close there so we don't go over time. I just really appreciate you, Beth. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And good luck with this. I can feel it. It's going to be
Yes.
a huge success.
Yes, thank you. So, to everyone else, I appreciate you so much. My wish for you, my intention for you is that you got something very powerful, and that you're very present to getting exactly what you need from each of these conversations. And I want you to know you're not alone on this spiritual journey of ascension, and we are your community, and all of you listening are community. We are a community of light rising together. Thank you so much, and namaste.
Yeah, thank you.